Alright boys, so late last night, around 1:30 or so, we got the Lincoln set back down on 4 wheels and went out for a rip, and it's mainly all good news. So, for the homies, water the plants. But, yeah, so, it runs pretty freaking good. I mean, there's still a few things. God, I gotta pull the truck and the car out now because we were bleeding the coolant, and this motherfucker took forever to bleed, and amazingly so, it's still just barely dripping out of here, even with the system under pressure. This coolant leak behind here that I was talking about. But one other thing, I used the spacer plate in between the trans and the engine from the automatic, and I don't know how well the video footage is going to turn out, but we were just trying to get this thing on the road, and I didn't take much time to film very well, but the flex plate was actually rubbing on the spacer plate. It started like halfway through after running it and testing it, and engine moving around and heating up, I guess. But so I think we're gonna have to that's why this spacer plate that came with I just accidentally put the wrong one in. I put the one from the auto, but that's why this one doesn't even, the other one actually goes around in behind the flex plate, and this one doesn't go up that far. You know, here's where your the crankshaft is like here, and this doesn't actually go in behind or around. You can slide it up in there behind the flex plate even after you have the flex plate on. So this thing is nasty. I'm gonna back her out and give the truck and this thing a wash, and we'll do a ride along with this old girl here shortly. But yeah, I'm gonna have to pull the transmission and change out that spacer plate. I was able to bend it just with a pry bar, just to kind of, for last night, get it to work without rubbing. But other than that, I mean, honestly, it works great. My boy broke my super cheap shift knob that I got. Don't buy a shift knob from eBay. It's no good. It looked kind of cool. It had like a little cobra on it. Looked a lot even cooler in the pictures, but the etching was kind of shitty anyways. But he just barely torqued it down, and might stab it on now that we've glued it for temporarity's purposes, because this is quite comical, but this is what we came up with in the wee hours of the night. That basically just kept your hand from getting shredded on the threads, but just had an axle nut socket to throw on there that was just bouncing around. But anyways, it's freaking mint. Everything works great. The transmission that I bought goes through all the gears flawlessly, which is, I mean, pretty, which is much to be said for the Tremec 3650. It sounds like, yeah, the guy I bought it from on eBay claimed it was like a salvage parts yard, but he said 27K on it, so pretty low miles. Just dropped that shift knob. Frick's sakes. Durability test, it's good. It's good still. Might be stronger than when it was before. With the glue. But yeah, I mean, honestly, went off without a hitch. So freaking rights, we'll do some ride along video and some flybys and all that good shit. So cheech it. Honestly, boys, I couldn't help myself. I gotta rip it. I was just gonna give her a bath, but the other thing is this This clutch is super stiff. I don't know if that's just the ram clutch pressure plate or what, or the piston combination I have with the Master and Slave, but because the Slave's from a 05 Mustang or and up, 05 and up, I don't remember, whatever, and then the Slave's from a 93 Supercoupe, so who knows what that piston ratio from Master to Slave is like or whatever, but it's man, after taking all the homies for a ride last night and driving it around, it's like, dang, this thing is stiff. Old John, neighbor, picking up sticks. You gotta do that a lot around here, eh? But yeah, I guess this ball actually went on pretty good, but I'm gonna have to figure out the check engine light if I'm gonna try and pass emissions, I think. I'll have to put the data log back on or check the codes, but yeah, this thing is really fun. Other than that, I should have bled the power steering. I was hearing some power steering noise yesterday, but it sounds really good, and you can kind of hear. It's nice to be able to hear with those headers the exhaust note from inside the car a little better. I don't know, it just headers just change the sound so much. It's so great. Oh, boys. It's definitely more responsive, and first gear's a lot lower than the auto was. Let's get that. But there's no abnormal noises other than that little bit of power steering pump, and no rattles, no nothing. Still drives good, runs solid, so that's a plus. Put in a lot of new mounting brackets, and all that exhaust was pretty tight in there, so I'm glad nothing seems to be an issue as of now. But gear display data error on the display there. I was kind of would have hoped that would have went away from the. Would have hoped that would have went away with the tune. Those guys have done this before, but we may call them up, and I'd like to run some data logging on it too, because just to see where we're at tune-wise. Kind of just assuming that he tuned it right. Not that it's that far off from stock, but yeah, and we're gonna go easy on it. That new rear limited slip, need to break in, as well as the clutch, so God, don't even need to put the radio back in. We got V8 noises, the sound of our people. Howdy, nice Camaro. Shit. Real responsive. Those headers are great. Transmission Lincoln, everybody. And manual transmission Mark VIII at that. Here's fifth. Hey, not too shabby. A little more road noise through this tunnel with this. I don't know if the boot's really going to help that much. much quicker. That is fun stuff. Yeah, this is gonna be, do a half-mile runs in this thing, eh? Still rides like a Lincoln. Pretty quiet in here. Man, hot rod Lincoln, that's the way to do it, boys. I'm telling you. Get you one. Get you some.